and gentlemen, broadcasting from an undisclosed location somewhere in the greater Boston area. Welcome to BamBoozled.Boston, the only New England podcast show that openly engages in death-defying on-air alcohol consumption, live music, and special guest appearances. Join us as we learn the finer things about alcohol, its origins, proper way to consume, and as the saying goes, wine improves with age, I improve with wine. Here to improve, to inspire,
Oh, we're improving.
To imbibe are your hosts, Mike Grady and Sean Cochran.
Mike, that was great. You know, when you have a speaking mishap, that's some of my favorite moments. I mean, it truly is because it's, what are you gonna do?
My tongue gets caught up in itself, and then
I get it. So we have a very special guest tonight.
Yeah, the most special.
And we're gonna introduce what do we do? What's our segment tonight? What's our what are we doing for
Mike, focus a
red
minute.
wine. Hold on, here we go.
Where's the? There it is. There it is.
Booze, the first frontier. These are the voyages of BamBoozled.Boston. Booze date Wednesday, October 20th, 2020. Join us as we explore all types of alcoholic beverages, bring history, cockeyed perspective, and to boldly go where so many fine human beings have already gone before. Today we are entering the world of red wine. Welcome to the Booze Log.
All right. Excellent.
Sweet.
So our guest is Gerald. Gerald, what is your last name? I don't even know your last name.
I don't even know.
Is it a secret? Do you have one?
No, Voisembert.
That's your name?
It is.
Voisembert.
Voisembert.
You're going to have to write that down for me so we can get the credit.
well,
So we can mispronounce it many times.
Sure.
You would anyway.
That's right.
So, Gerald, you mentioned you've been drinking wine for how many years since you were?
Too long.
Too long.
For some people. For me, it's pretty
long
more
enough.
as a French. Yeah, my first drink was a 2-year-old. By accident, yeah.
Was it?
Champagne. I was left in the kitchen on the table and I was starting to drink champagne. That was leftovers.
Wow.
Do you remember that experience?
Not at all, but I have a picture of it. It's pretty sad.
Are you like in the sink with the bottle?
No, it's not a joke. I'm sitting there by a really nice bottle of champagne. It's called Tétinger Comte de Champagne, and I'm sitting there. I'm 2-year-old. I'm kind of big, fat, and all red, really happy as shit, and with a little whatever. My mouth on the bottle, and it's like not good. They left me in the kitchen. That's why.
They didn't mean to do that, though.
No, I'm sure
No,
it
it was a
mistake.
party time. They had, parents before. I'm from the 60s, and the parents get like to their own shit, and the kids were on the table in the kitchen. Wrong. So yeah, I started young.
Okay, so you started very young.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. So you may have the most experience out of.
Oh, I would think he does.
Yeah, it's.
Well, I mean, in drinking, maybe that's about it.
Okay.
So what is this? I can't even pronounce it.
All right. So that is called Maison l'Envoyé.
Maison l'Envoyé.
So the house of the messenger. That's what it is. So
okay.
Maison l'Envoyé is it's a company that is kind of a big company that their goal is to find vineyards in different places of the world. And one of their own vineyard they own really is in Beaujolais. Beaujolais region is the south of Burgundy, way south in Burgundy, on the way to Lyon, if you go, south of. So anyway, they own that some location in Beaujolais. The rest of the world, which is mostly Oregon, US, some places in Australia, I think, or Chile. I mean, they have a few places in the world where they make mostly Pinot Noir. A part of Beaujolais, which is Gamay.
So
grape.
this is Pinot Noir.
This was yes, that's a Pinot Noir from Oregon.
And it says the attaché Willamette Valley. So it's in.
It is. The attaché is, again, they use French name because they started their company. They are in Beaujolais and Burgundy. And they spread out. So what they have a wine consultant, which is a French guy, probably making some of the wine, but mostly is a consultant, explain what to do. I'm not sure where exactly they make all the wines. All I know is they buy grapes to some location and they have like agreement with some farmer. and they try to find the specific soil they require and specific way of growing they require. So it's interesting because it's a wine. How can I say? It's still industrial. It's a company. It's a modern way to do things, but you'll try it. That's a 2014, so it's got some age already. It's 6 years for a Pinot. It's starting to be nice. Not all of them require that age.
Well, thank you.
But
you're welcome.
Some of them can be, like a regular Burgundy will be really nice young. This one's got some years, and it's really interesting. So what is interesting about that wine is they're really trying to make something that is really enjoyable, easy to drink, and yet brings something. And you'll see, it's interesting.
Okay, so just to recap. This is a company that seeks out different locations in farms, has farmers.
Farmers, yes.
Okay.
They work with some farmers. They buy the grape. They don't. A part of the place in Beaujolais region of France, which they own. They have their own domain. Otherwise, they just buy grapes and.
It sounds like a co-op. We have like co-ops here.
It's the same kind of ideas. I mean, that's pretty much what people do, especially in the New World way of doing wine. It's you don't grow your grapes. You buy the grapes from farmers. That's a really typical things in the States, but also in Argentina and some of them in France as well. And yes, we had the co-ops, especially in the Beaujolais region, that people didn't make the wine. They usually farm the grapes, and when it was a bad year, they sell it to the co-ops. And the co-op will make the wine or sell it to someone who will. But mostly in Europe, the winemakers, the wineries, they have their own grapes. They have their own farming. They do everything, which I rather like to follow from. I like the guy that is doing the wine from A to Z, farming. It's all interesting to me. But it doesn't mean these people don't do great. And they're working with farmers. They're monitoring everything. They have specific, they want specific way to do things. And then they just do buy the grapes, do the wine.
Huh.
I know
that's really neat.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I know that the wine consumption in this country has drastically increased over the past 20 years. More than I know more people who drink wine that are as many people who drink wine that drink beer. And beer was the beverage of this country for years and years and decades. But wine, it seems like everybody's drinking wine. Have you noticed an increase in?
I really believe, and it's not only here; it's expanding. I mean, obviously the demand is high because the everywhere you go, there is a big culture of wine and wineries, and it's. I read like a few years ago, even the New England was one of, if not the biggest consumer of wine, which is weird because you will think like maybe New York or Chicago, and yes, maybe the high-end wine will be there in Dallas, New York, Chicago, but in quantity that will be New England, which I'm not surprised. A bunch of Irish there, but
yeah, sure, you can only drink so much whiskey.
That's right.
So I'm just curious how much that increased. During COVID, I mean, think it was a quadruple the consumption.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Let's put it really simple. I just see myself, right?
Yeah.
Which I'm not a big drinker. I used to party a lot. I'm not a big drinker, but the whole COVID time with my wife, we had every night aperitif with a nice cocktail and then a freaking bottle of wine, and I had to buy a lot just to compensate my loss in that.
Just to me.
So just myself, I can tell you augmentation was at least 50% more.
Okay.
Because it was every day, one bottle. Because you're bored, you're on the garden. It was a beautiful weather too.
And you're only going to drink nice wine. You're not going to drink any hospice or anything like that, of course.
Well, because over the years, and when you start drinking wine, you acquire a taste for things that are unless you're a wino, which is fine, nothing wrong with it, but that you don't care. You just need the buzz. You don't need the alcohol, the taste of it. If you just need the buzz, you don't really care.
Drink Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Some people don't really care. They just they love the buzz.
Yeah, sure.
But if you like the taste, you have the tendency to, and over the years, you just try to get something better.
Okay.
Or different.
So me personally, when it comes to wine, I never really liked wine. When it comes to white wine, I still can't drink white wine. It just it doesn't. It tastes like turpentine to me. It just does not work.
That's it. It's open gate for more nights together because there's so many different wines, many different tastes and occasion. Wine. We can go throughout these stories and all. Like it is still. A social event. It's something that, the taste of one bottle will be completely different whether you have it with friend or in a atmosphere you don't feel right about or with people annoy you. Yeah, it is. It's really social thing.
Why would the bottle? So 2 bottles, identical bottles. You have one in one location. And then you think, different,
just confusing. A basic example. I was working for a company that's called Rémy Martin. It's a house, they make cognac. Rémy Martin, I used to work for that company called Rémy Distribution. Rémy Distribution used to sell Rémy Martin and wine and champagne and a lot of stuff. And I was in charge for the luxury places in Paris, which is great restaurant, cabaret, big hotels, whatever. And I remember going to those amazing restaurants. We have a Michelin guide, which is like the top-rated restaurant. And I remember one time going there and to sell one of the restaurants to sell the champagne called Krug. Krug champagne is it's supposed to be the elite of champagne.
Okay,
those cost the minimum of $300 to $400 dollar a bottle. Up to $6,000.
Wow.
One bottle of specific Krug.
Wow.
It's called Clos d'Ambonnet and d'Ambonnet, sorry, and it is really amazing. So I used to be able. I had money, just as a seller to go spend to some area, try to sell that wine. And I remember, this wine is amazing. We will have that wine together, having fun, having a good time, maybe a good dinner. Lobsters will be, fantastic.
Yeah.
And you will find most likely that wine amazing. When I was working, first of all, I had, it's lunch. You don't want to get buzzed. I'm driving. I go to see clients. I'm trying to sell my shit. I was drinking this amazing wine with amazing lunch, top-notch restaurant. We cost, a lot of money. And I was like going out and you go, I don't even know what I had or drink or, it's just.
So it's just, you weren't able to enjoy it because
you don't enjoy it. You weren't
feeling
You're not in the mood. You're not in, and the product is the same. It was amazing, beautiful bottle. The meal was fantastic. You're working. You're not in the mood. You're trying to sell your shit. It's just different. And so, yes, definitely the atmosphere, where you drink it, the way you drink it, the glass, everything is important. Over the years, you notice that.
Did you find that you now have the opportunity to enjoy it more at home as you've been drinking, as opposed to, when you're in the midst of work, that was your business. And so it can kind of sour you after a while. But home now, do you find that you enjoy all of this a lot more than you used to when you were working?
All right. Yes, definitely. Working is working. Whatever you do, it's just, you're working. Unless you're drunk. And in that case, it doesn't really matter because...
It doesn't matter if it's good. Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But if you just enjoy what you... I always did enjoy wine. So yes, while working, of course, it's just... you lose... It's not even 50%. You lose 80% of the pleasure. It's just, okay, you open that bottle because you have to. And basically, that's it. And it's really sad because we talk about a beautiful product. People, they do a lot of work, handwork. It's not like bullshit. It's just somebody put his heart in it and you fuck it up in no time. And it's sad. It's really sad.
Sure. But as long as you can have your moments and enjoy it properly.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. So because I'm here, as I moved in the States 15 years ago, and I arrived late in age. And we, as you know, the US, we kind of busy. We work. And the time to socialize, it's not that great. So between the family and work, and basically you don't socialize really. And I thank you for that because it's a part of what we do right now, and it's really pleasant. But so I'm lucky enough, my wife really enjoy it. So we it's a pleasure to open bottles and share with us things. I buy a lot of wine in general just to make her, to teach her and show her different things. So I buy a lot of different wine, and it's a pleasure today because, especially in the States, you can buy wine from everywhere. It's not that available in France. You have French, some Spanish, some Italian, and that's about it. Here in the States, for me, that was open gate to everything because we could buy wine from everywhere.
I never thought of that. I didn't even think of that. No,
it's fantastic. You go to New Hampshire liquor store, which is not the great store, but it's great in a way that it's big. It's you travel the world just hanging around the alley, and for me, it's beautiful.
Wow!
Just you look at the stickers, you look at where it's from, and it tells me a lot. It tells me stories. It tells me. It's fantastic. Just I can hang around that shop just by pleasure.
I'm sorry, what shop was that?
New Hampshire liquor store.
The New Hampshire liquor store.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's stupid because but they have everything. They have some great bottle. And the best will be Total Wine and More here in Massachusetts. It's not from here.
Yeah.
But they have 2 stores now here, and they have really good shit. But it's pleasant.
Wait, they have one out in Peabody, don't
Danvers,
they? Danvers. I went to that place about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, it is nice. So it is fantastic. The States allowed me to, and not only the States, to be honest with you, because of internet today, you can really buy it from everywhere.
Of course.
But in France, it kind of make it difficult for me, because of the tax, because of different things. Like I don't know. But here I'm in heaven for buying wine. I buy wine. I've got wine from everywhere.
And you have a wine cellar.
I have 2.
You have 2 wine cellars.
Yeah, I have one in France and one here. Yeah.
Okay. How often do you go back to France?
Well, I used to go at least like 4 or 5 times a year, and now
now with COVID, I'm sure.
Well, with COVID, I couldn't go definitely, but I'll try to go at least 2 times a year. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What I do in France, I usually store irons. Make sure I wouldn't drink them because they need to age.
Okay.
So that's it. And that's in there, and I don't touch it. But yeah, it's kind of silly,
so
but whatever.
Yeah. Okay. A lot of discipline to stay away from the...
Well, that's it, because again, wine, when you start, I wouldn't say collecting, but when you start drinking and you want to drink wine at the perfect timing, you better have some, especially if you drink every day.
Yeah.
If you open a bottle of wine every day, let's say you're kind of off a few days, 360 days a year, well, you drink at least 300 bottles, at least, a year.
That's a lot of wine.
But if you think about it, how many days? Well, if you don't drink every day, well, that's not even. But if you drink every day 1 beer, well, that's it. You don't stop to 1 beer usually. It goes fast.
You don't do that, Sean.
I would be terrified to do the math.
Well, that's it. You just put 300 bottles. If you think about it, an average. Let's say you don't spend money on wine. You really go low. You will spend at least $12, $15. That will be kind of. You cannot go lower, but well, do the math. If you drink every day, I know some flight attendants through to my wife that did drink at least 1 bottle a day of white just to. Ooh. So that's it. It's 165
1 bottle
bottles.
A day?
Oh yeah.
Well, why not?
Yeah. Well, it's open.
True.
Once it's open, you're obligated.
But what else? In the morning, it tastes like shit. So,
speaking of something being open,
sorry.
I'm getting a little anxious. I love the smell. The bouquet on this is phenomenal.
Yes, that's it. That's the type of wine. It's not brainstorming. It gets you right away. So you have, it's rich still. So that type of Pinot and richness, and especially for that price, you will only find in a warmer area. So that will be New World type. To have that power in Burgundy, you will have to go higher, in money-wise, it will be a different story.
That's really good.
The end of it was really dry. It dries. I just noticed the taste at the very end. My word.
Gerald, how much is this bottle of wine average?
Well, this one, if you buy it from Maison, I would say it's about $45. But for some reason, probably in 2014, something happened. They had too many production. The New Hampshire liquor store sold it for like $24 or something.
Oh, so you purchased it in years ago.
No, this one I bought it at where was that? I didn't buy it at New Hampshire liquor store. For some reason, I had some, which I bought the high-end, the high price. And one day I was hanging around that store. They're everywhere in New Hampshire. And I saw it for that price. I bought like 2 or 3 cases because that's an easy wine when you, let's say you go somewhere and again, it's really difficult to bring high-end wine somewhere you don't know the people because, first of all, unless you're super rich or you don't care, or you want to show off, or there's many boundaries you have to put in something that could cost money. And when you have it, you don't even realize. I have so many anecdotes about everything that it's funny. We get older, so we have anecdotes. But anyway, it's difficult to bring a wine. And in that specific occasion, when you told me about bring something, it's not that easy. For me, it's not because of different expectation I have. And I was like, okay, we could go with a nice Bordeaux, but I know that some of my Bordeaux, they're not ready to drink, and some of them, they wouldn't be right. And I wouldn't, it's not about how much it costs, it's how much it's more, but will it be right at the time we're going to try it?
Yes.
So that's why I had to pick something that I knew.
You knew that this is
you
ready.
You open it, it will be nice and pleasant,
Sure.
And yeah.
So when you pick a bottle of wine, it's not just, you just don't grab it off the shelf.
I don't.
You think about what you're doing, where you're going, what's it all about, the occasion, the timing, everything.
Definitely.
And I don't think that type of thought, when I go to do something like bring some type of alcoholic beverage, I don't put that kind of thought into it. That's actually that's a really cool way to look at it.
Well, it's a culture. That's I will say. It's also when you have a passion. But it's like it's an artistic way of seeing things. You're into music.
Yes.
You wouldn't wake up with anything because you're into music. There's something specifically that morning you want to listen to.
Absolutely.
And that's about the same.
That's
about the same image.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a really good way to put that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Very good analogy.
because it is artistic at that level, and some wineries or winemakers reach the level of artistry with the price tag too. That's and so yes, there is a sought after everything you do when you start drinking, and I believe that, and trying to enjoy as much as you can. Now, don't get me wrong. Many times throughout my, I'm getting older, so many times. You start the evening like we do, and we kind of polite, but at the end there's alcohol in there. So after a few bottles, we went goofy many times. And when I used to say with my friend who used to have cellar and still have some, we used to really late at night and starting to open really amazing bottle of wine we couldn't appreciate because we were so freaking drunk and just God, fuck it, open it. And we did goofy shit, that's for sure. And don't tell me, how was that bottle? Oh, fantastic. We don't know. We were fucked up. Fuck it.
Yeah.
And how many times did we toss really? It's like tossing a lot of money down the toilet. But whatever. We had fun.
Celebrating with your friend. That's wonderful, and that's. I mean, you couldn't remember what the hell you drank.
We remember. Yeah, we couldn't say. There's no way we can say, oh, that wine was this and this. It was that expression or whatever. No, it was just really freaking goofy, and you go, look at these idiots, and we've
had a few of those nights.
It's all good as long as you stick to something like this. Basic, but because we didn't have basic wine in our cellar, it did turn stupid sometimes. Like really, some bottle like people will dream of having or drinking.
Oh, and you got into the really big stuff you did.
Yeah. Sometimes I remember it was a sad situation. Yeah.
Okay. Similar to some of the stuff you're talking about that were $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 or $6,000 bottle of wine, something like that.
No, today they will be definitely that price. At that era, it wasn't. You have to understand. When I was younger, in my, I'm 54 now. When I was in my 30s, a bottle of Mouton Rothschild which is the high-ends, one of the high-ends Bordeaux. Mouton Rothschild was probably about, for a good year, 300 francs a bottle, which was expensive. But 300 francs today, it's, what is it? About $50. Okay?
Yeah.
So, so that's Mouton Rothschild 86, for example, will sell today most likely for, probably, I will say something goofy, but I will say around $3,000 maybe.
Wow, that same bottle. And what year do you think that was?
86.
That was 86.
No, when we did that type of goofy things, that was in that era, late
and
80s, 90s.
This was your wine at the time that you were drinking?
Yeah. We used to.
You weren't on the job. You weren't going through the warehouse and drink? No.
No. That was we used to buy or go to restaurant and having amazing wine and gets really freaking stupid.
Yeah.
And sure enough, then you realize, we had this. Oh yeah, wow. Today, the same wine, all the goofy shit we used to do.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that will cost you a harm. I mean, really, that will be bad. I mean, I wouldn't be able to afford it. What I could afford before without having a great job. Today, there's no way you can do that. No way, it's too expensive.
Yeah.
I don't do that. I can't buy this bottle today. I mean, I have some, but I used to buy cases of 12. Between my friend, we used to share that, and it was fine. Today, they don't even make boxes of 12, those high-ends. They sell boxes of 6.
Because
they don't have
easier to move.
No, probably, but also they don't have the demand. I mean, except big clients. I used to work for a prince who had hundreds of cases of Petrus, of Mouton Rothschild, of Aubryon, all that are big name in Bordeaux, the high-ends. Yeah, but no, people like us, there's no way.
So who's the prince?
Well, I was one of the Saudis.
And this is when you were in
France. I was working for a designer.
Okay.
And for 1 year, because he had he was doing an apartment for that prince. So I was a liaison between the two. We were supposed to watch what was going on, between all the contractors and everything, and make sure everything was fine. So the prince had somebody, a Lebanese friend of mine, actually, that watched his side, and I was watching the side of the architect and making sure everything was fine. This architect also owned a chateau in Bordeaux, winery. So all that mixed up, it was a kind of interesting.
You had your hands on some really good wine.
Nothing to do with that, actually.
Yeah.
I was already, but I remember some anecdote about that princess, especially, which was really weird. That she used to come in the afternoon, see how well was the work, and have her sister over and starting to open an amazing bottle of wine just in the middle of the afternoon, where she wasn't supposed to drink wine, a Muslim, and just having, I remember that bottle of Aubryon, 1990. Which was an amazing year. Even young wine was really nice, beautiful to drink. She used to have a sip of it, took shit with her sister, and then go. So I used to finish the freaking bottle. Well, sure
Couldn't
enough.
let it go to waste.
I mean, basically, I had nothing to do. I wasn't a contractor. I was watching those guys not to do something goofy. I had to do something goofy because what else?
Yeah, sure. Well, good for you. At least you got to, clean it up a bit.
Yeah, you do shit like that.
So between your wine cellar in France and the one here, how many bottles of wine do you think you have?
No,
any idea?
Yeah, I will say it's 1,500 about. Yeah,
1,500.
Yeah,
that's some wine.
Quite a bit. That's
great.
But
think about it. It's quite simple. It's 300 a year. We want some bottle require at least 15 to 20 years.
Really?
Aging.
Just to get it right.
Just to get it right. Some of them 45 years.
So how do you know, when you purchase a bottle in 2014, how do you know when it's time to open that bottle? I mean, how does anybody know?
So most high-ends in great years are designed, they are made to age. They don't make this wine to just open it. You will lose a lot. It will be tight. It will be, we call it fermé, closed, completely, no expression. They will be weird. So it's pointless. And they made it this way because they know with time it will create greatness. I'm not talking about good wine. I'm talking about greatness. I had a great occasion to drink wine that were completely ready when I was younger, some 59, some 61, that were perfect. And it was just really amazing. And there's no way you can have this in a young wine. It's just specific.
It has to age properly.
It has to age properly on specific way of doing it. It's not all wine need to age. Not at all.
That was actually what I was just going to ask you, because so much of the wine that is consumed was bottled last year, the year before, and people take it off the shelves.
Not all wine are designed to age at all.
Okay. All right.
It's an alchemy. It's a way of doing, and also some grape needs to age. Some specific grape needs to age.
So when you purchase a bottle of wine, how do you know to age it for a certain amount of time? Because the grower or the has told you that you should let it sit for 6 years, or I mean, how do you? You
can have that. You have a lot of information now. We're lucky enough to have internet. You can, but there's also knowledge. I know that most Bordeaux I buy because of what they are. I know they need to age. Now it's tricky because even those high-ends Bordeaux on bad years, some of them they still manage to make a great wine, even years that the weather wasn't good at all. But this, like, for example, some of the Bordeaux, even high-ends, 2014, for example, you could definitely open today and you will have some pleasure with it. Now, great years like 2010 or 2015, 16, even 18, this one they will need to wait, and they probably will be amazing.
So how many years do you think they need to wait?
Let's say if you lucky enough to purchase those great Ozone or Cheval Blanc, all those top tier, 30 years, 20, 30 years, yeah.
Wow.
Which, I'm screwed because basically I'm 55. By the time I'll be 85 and probably pissing myself, so I won't be able to enjoy anything. So, really, if you ask me, I'm stupid. I bought some Margaux 2016, which increased in price for many reasons, like crazy. Chateau Margaux. And I just realized, screw that, because let's say that bottle was maybe 500 to buy.
Okay.
But you buy it like 2 years before you receive it. Okay. So
I see.
That bottle was on the market when it came out was 1,600. I was like, oh fuck, maybe I should sell it. And I should, because I will never enjoy it. Never. I'll be 80 something to be the right time. So I'm like, that's freaking stupid.
So you order a bottle in advance.
Yeah, well, I buy a lot in advance.
A lot,
like
okay.
that, yes. Bordeaux, that's what you do. In order to, I will say, pay a bit less, yes, or have it, just to have it. Because again, that specific bottle, for example, if you manage to buy a case of 12 bottles of Margaux, again, that was around 500, maybe 400 something. It came out at 1,600 because the score was great, 100, some score was 100, and some also the winemaker, not the winemaker, the guy who owned that castle, we call it chateau, passed away, and he was like there forever, and he passed away, and they did a special label on that because he passed away that year. So because of that, the bottle went skyrocketed in price.
So the bottle that they were selling was a new bottle that they had just made, or it was something that had been aging already?
No, that's a new bottle.
It's a new bottle. Okay.
That wine, 2016, you buy it, and it went to some crazy price right away because of different event. The score, 100 point, which is that you can't get any better, and also the fact that they did a different label because the guy passed away, and boom, that bottle. So if you manage to have a case with wooden case, you sell it, you make a profit of $1,000 per bottle. So some people rich enough to buy 10 cases or more, they score that one, I'm telling you. But that's not my case. I don't sell anymore.
It's amazing. The whole wine community, they really... It's just amazing.
It's getting really elite. I mean, unless you still have pleasure with a lot of wine that don't cost much. But for most people, even $50, it's a stupid money for wine. They go, well, I don't drink more than $6. And in that case, I wouldn't say you will drink only crap, but it's
difficult to find something for that price that's good.
Yes, I would say today with technology and a big investment, you'll be able to drink something that you can drink. But no, is it great? No, it's not.
Yeah.
Just you can drink it at least. When I was young, some wine were really bad. It was
like Mad Dog 2020. Mark.
Oof.
Mark, you there?
Oh, my word.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I was going to say, what was some of the choice wines that we used to back in the day in the van?
There was the Boone's Farm.
Boone's Farm.
Yeah, I heard that.
Boone's Farm apple wine.
That was $1.50 a bottle, I believe.
Mad Dog 2020.
Mad Dog 2020,
the
I think.
Tuba Chuck was famous to be.
Tuba Chuck, yeah.
Yeah. Tuba Chuck.
Night Train was the other one, right? Night Train.
Oh, I remember that.
But even Tuba Chuck
Night
today.
Train. That stuff ruined me many
champagne
a
of
time.
wines.
That was like $1.50 a bottle too, I think. Yeah, crazy.
Oh my gosh.
That's like Schlitz.
Schlitz isn't that bad.
How about red, white, and blue? Red, white, and blue beer.
Oh, God.
Well, look at today what you do with beer. I mean, you used to drink shit, really. I really remember as a kid, I thought it was so cool to have a Michelob or a Budweiser. And then we realized that's really bad. But today, all those little
microbreweries.
My gosh, it's
so good.
amazing what they do.
good.
I mean, you really, everywhere throughout the States. It's
And
really
the value
forgiving.
is...
We're having somebody in next week.
Oh,
Speaking of microbrewing.
So Jason Barnum is potentially coming in next week. I believe he still is.
Yes.
And I don't know if you saw on Facebook, he's got another whole... he'll explain it, but I was over at the brewery the other day, and he had found some text. I don't know what that means of a beer that was brewed 500 years ago, and he found some information, and he built a recipe around that. And Gestalt? No, I can't remember what it was called, but he's brewing it right now, and he's hoping it's going to be done for when he can bring it to us.
Ooh, I
for
like
us
that.
to drink. Yeah.
Yes.
I lived out in San
I like
Diego.
him already.
Yeah, I do too. I lived out in San Diego, and all they had was microbreweries out there.
Wow, but even here, I mean, every town now.
Yeah.
It's like, I've been here only 15 years, and now across Ipswich, Essex, and I'm like, it keeps growing everywhere.
Crazy.
Every town's got one.
Yeah. Great, which I think is wonderful.
Oh, yeah, it's wonderful.
When the
because
zombie
they do
apocalypse
great work.
comes, we just go there and we just get our
Let's go
beer.
and get our beer.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's
Will
going
that
to
save
happen
us?
if you drive from here to Manchester by the Sea. You will stop so much. It will take you 10 hours, and most likely
you'll be
get
drunk.
get arrested.
You get arrested.
Thanks
Yeah.
very much. You know, as we're talking here about wine and you're bestowing with us your incredible knowledge and helping us learn more about it, there's something else about you that we have to talk about. And that is, and this is kind of, so I'm going to talk.
Never mind. I was gonna,
Yeah, because you don't go there. Please.
No, not that. But there was there was, when Sean told me you're coming on board, I'm like, great. And he goes, oh, and by the way, he used to work at the Moulin Rouge. I'm like, wait a minute. Pardon my ignorance. I said, wait a minute, that's a real place. And then I went and I did my research, and I was like, I hate to claim ignorant American, but at this time I'm going to, because I'm like, oh, they made a movie about it. I didn't realize that it was an actual location. I didn't realize that's where the Can-Can dance started, and then you worked there.
Yeah, I didn't start the Can-Can, though. But I did dance the Can-Can.
Did you?
I did.
No way.
I
Come
promise you I did. Oh, here's the story, right?
Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
Here's the
Let's hear
story. Every end of contract of the dancers, which is sometimes 4 years or 2 years usually, these dancers, they come from everywhere in the world. They usually, at that era, my era, they were English, some French, mostly English, I will say. Now they have a lot of Australian, a lot of Russian and everything. So they have a contract usually for 2 years. They dance there. They usually extend more because, just to train them costs money. It's just the way it is. So let's say 4 years. When I was there, that was, funny enough, that was the end of contract of a lot of them. So for 2 months, we did rehearsal, and we had a special show without the spectators. It was only families of employees, but it was still full. I mean, I wouldn't say full. This contained 800 people, goes up to 1,200. That night, it was only maybe 300 people. Okay, families and friends. And what they did is the show, all the women did the guys' part, and all the guys from the
Seriously?
all the waiters and everything did the girls' side. So yes, I had 2 sets of dance with all the freaking feathers
Wait,
and
you were
one up my ass. It was beautiful.
Really?
Yes. And then the most difficult part was to find the shoes, but yeah, all that.
Do you have a photo? Do you have any photos
I
you can
do.
share?
Not right now, and I will never get out there. No, but I do. It's pretty sad.
You can email those, and I will put them in the video right here.
I bet you will, but no, it won't happen.
That would be fantastic. So that's very interesting. So
It is.
good for you for being a good sport, of course, to participate. I mean, what the, of course.
No. It's so yeah. It was something else. And Moulin Rouge, yeah, it is. And still is a fantastic. It's changing. It's becoming more corporate, but right now it's closed because of COVID.
right.
They probably struggle with that. I know the employee. A lot of them still my friends since I was 18, and we still really good friends. One of my seller is at one of these guy place. So yeah, we still in touch since ever.
So email, phone calls.
I call them all the time.
All the time?
Yeah. So right now they're unemployed, but Moulin Rouge is doing. That's the only cabaret who really survive and doing well. We had a lot in Paris, and most of them are closed.
Wow.
But that's been closed for not COVID,
Not because of
just
COVID.
because
Because.
Yeah.
So you must have some interesting stories.
Yes and no. I didn't work too long over there. I worked 1 year, but I was lucky enough. Here's when I joined. I sucked at school. I was really not good. So I left school and I went to work directly. And I went to work because Dean Martin was coming to the Moulin Rouge and they needed some employees.
Okay.
And my dad selling champagne at that era, Moulin Rouge was one of the clients, and we had connection. And he asked, "Do you need anyone?" So I was just a busboy, carrying shit all day long.
Yeah.
I mean, all night. So I arrived for Dean Martin's show, which was a special event. So I saw Dean Martin. I went to the lodge and served Dean Martin the fake whiskey because, sure enough, it wasn't real. It was tea, for his show. And 2 months after Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra did a gig at the Moulin Rouge, which I saw too.
Wow. What? That must have been...
It was just, imagine 18-year-old kids and,
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
you have some icon American... just iconic people. It was something else.
Wow, that's cool.
Sinatra was the chairman of the board, as they called him, and his band and his singing was
Definitely.
unmatched. But then Dean Martin, it's interesting you say that, because my mom was a big fan of Dean Martin's and watched him, and he had all the shows. And so that whole act, that was just an act.
Well, maybe it wasn't in his heyday. All I know at the Moulin Rouge, that was the end of the Rat Pack and everything. Or maybe it was still going on, but not really.
Just tea.
They were getting older.
Just
But yes, it was tea in the glass. Yeah.
Tea in the
And I had to
glass.
bring him to the lodge, and I was like, why would you even bother? Just but it was really nice to get in there, and he was, doing his shit. He had the makeup on. It's not like I had any interaction with it. It was just fun to be there.
Oh,
Yeah, of
sure,
course.
sure. Did you have any interaction with Frank Sinatra at all?
Well, that's a different story.
Oh.
So Frank Sinatra.
Do tell.
Please.
So Dean Martin, I remember it was kind of a really short show. He didn't sing. All those 2 shows were for some benefits. All the money went to some benefits. I can't remember. So anyway, Dean Martin, I remember, I was fine, and I saw the show, and it was short, 20 minutes. And Frank Sinatra, what happened is it was a big event. And that day, all the customers paid a fortune on their table or their dinner. And they had the Mouton Rothschild to drink, which, again, the high-end Bordeaux,
Yep.
probably at that era, at the table was $1,000 francs a bottle. At that era, that was really expensive. The dinner was, they had caviar, Petrosian caviar. But we used to have a box of 1 kilogram. It was probably 500 grams, a big box, and put a spoon on every guest. We talk about a fortune today. That will be insane. Insane money today. But that was it. That was their menu. So we used to serve that. And we had Moët Chandon, that was the Dom Pérignon at that period that we served. I mean, it was, whatever you want. Luxury to a point.
Sure.
Frank Sinatra. So, here start the show, but that's it. the lights go down, the people don't eat anymore. And I'm like, hang on a minute. I've got these 2 bottles left over of Dom Pérignon, 1 bottle of Mouton Rothschild not touched, and a full box of caviar. So I went up to the changing room and I fucked up myself so bad I never saw the show. I was sick for 3 days.
So you had nothing but caviar and champagne.
Well, yeah, 2 bottles. 2 bottles and a bottle of Mouton Rothschild. And on my own, like a freaking selfish fuck, in the stock room, the changing room. And I remember the worst of it, and you will really think, I didn't like caviar, but it's just like it was there. So I had one toast. A box of 500 is that big. It's big, and it's a lot of caviar.
Yeah.
And I went to it, and a bottle and a bottle.
And you didn't get sick? No.
Not right away. I was fine. So the night went on, the wine went on. We had more champagne. When people go, we cleaned the freaking mess. And then it's starting to hit me. I went back home with one of the black jacket, drove me. He was living near my place, and I had to finish the rest walking. And I was really fucked up. I walked probably a mile, went to my place, wake up in the morning. My mom found me on a couch. And she remembers, what did you give to the dog? And what I had some leftover caviar between 2 plates and a piece of, rag to hold it. And I shared that with the dog when I arrived. I was really fucked up. So the dog had the leftover caviar, which a fortune of it. Because we talk about the beluga. I know if people listen and know about caviar, at that era, you could get Russian caviar, and was top-notch quality before. Not today, it's a completely different story. But the beluga was you couldn't get any better at that period. So the dog and I, before I went to pass out, but I passed out. I really passed out. When I said I woke up, I didn't. A friend of mine came to visit from somewhere in the countryside. He just drove to see me. I couldn't. I was like barely opening my eyes. I was fucked up. So Frank Sinatra, I don't really know. Wow. It was probably good though.
I bet it was.
Wow.
But the wine was great. Too much though.
That's a lot.
It was a lot.
That's three bottles.
No, but that's before we started to clean the mess and everything and drink more. Yeah, no, it was a lot.
But you functioned. You were able to finish your job.
Don't know.
You don't know.
I went home. Yeah, no, Moulin Rouge, we had some good time. They used to call me Gevrey-Chambertin. Gevrey-Chambertin is one of the a little town of Burgundy that makes amazing wine, and that's what I used to drink during service, Gevrey-Chambertin. So my name was over there, the Gevrey-Chambertin. Hey, Gevrey-Chambertin! Fuck off. That was pretty sad.
So what town were you born in?
I was born in Paris.
You were born in Paris. Okay, and you pretty much lived most of your life in Paris.
Whoa, yes and no. When I was 7, I think, we moved to the center of France, which is like the Loire region, which amazing region for wine. Not where I was, but still. So the Loire region, it's a small town called Gien. It's on the border of the Loire River. But yeah, that period was so I lived there for a little while, and then I traveled. After the Moulin Rouge, I went to the military, and then I started to travel. I lived to many different places in the world. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. How long were you in the military? Sorry, Mike.
18 months.
18 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that a requirement for your country?
It was 12 months. Yeah.
And so you stayed an extra 6.
Yeah, because of what I did for a specialty that needed to be. The training was longer, so they make sure you stay. That was the point of that training I had, and I didn't.
Is it top secret? What did you do?
No, it's nothing top secret. Have you seen the military in France? I mean, they are to some battle, but mostly. So no, it wasn't. But it was a special corps that doesn't exist anymore. I was in the army, which is we call it armée de terre, so the army, and. Our function, my group, was to make sure all the tanks and all the troops and everything will have all the necessity and be safe to arrive. So we were in charge to make sure the bridge could the transport bridge, they have bridge they put on river, make sure the tank could pass the water. I was a diver, so that's everything on the water in lake or because again, I was in the military, in the army, not the navy. So it was mostly lake or whatever, river and everything. We had to make sure.
With the scuba, the compressed air, everything.
We had to make sure, all the people in the tank crossing water be safe. Because at that period, they couldn't go underwater really.
They could stay above water.
Or they use the snorkel. They could go under, but they use the snorkel. Today, they just freaking go through it. It doesn't matter. Yeah. But before, no. And so, so the main function was we used to be parachutes and kill whatever was in sight, make sure the troops could arrive. So it was kind of elite section.
So that's what you did?
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
But it was just training. Cool. So basically, I never saw a battle in my life.
You never saw a real battle, you just saw training battle.
No way. I saw mostly nothing.
So then what prompted you to ever want to move to the United States?
I met my wife in France. She's a flight attendant, and one of us had to move. And one spoke English, so I think you're in,
Now, was English taught to you when you were in France? Was a second language or no?
It was. Yeah. Yeah, you mostly, we suck at it, to be honest with you. This country like Holland or Sweden, Denmark, these people speak fluent English. One of the reasons is when they have TV, nothing is translated. So they have to, as a kid, all cartoons, whatever from the States or from the UK, you just learn through it. In France, everything was translated.
Oh, so
everything. So we never really learned.
Never even got to hear
So that's why we have this accent always, and we kind of suck at everything.
So wait a minute. So when they would have shows over in other countries, they wouldn't overdub with their own. Would they overdub with their?
In France, they will. Yes.
In France, but in other countries, they didn't.
Some countries, again, Holland, Sweden, Denmark, all these countries, no, it's not. So mostly they speak perfect English.
Well, most Americans don't speak English very well.
I don't speak French very well. I suck. Writing is I suck at it.
Writing English or writing in French?
I probably write better in English than in French. It's sad.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I suck at it like big time.
By the way, this is pretty amazing.
Go for it.
Oh, thank you. This is really, really good.
Wow. So that's, I didn't know you were in the military. That's
Yeah, but again, it was required. So it's not like I did something amazing. It was required, but I wanted, originally I wanted to be in the Navy. I wanted to be in a submarine. But I did the test and they realized I was really fucked up. And they said no. And not a joke. They said not.
What was
the reason was unable to follow order. In a better way, but that was it.
Really?
You're a bit of a rebel.
No, I was a bit of a dick, maybe, but
Interesting.
Well, I'm glad you clarified that.
Yeah, but that's it. But so because of that, they did still help me because I was a diver already.
Yeah. And
they helped me to do something in what I knew, and that was it. So I was a diver, but in the army. And to that specific section, and that doesn't exist anymore.
So you were a diver prior to the military?
Well, I was because my dad was.
Oh, your dad was?
Yeah. So my dad was a professional diver. He used to make to build bridge. And today there's a lot of machine, but to build bridge, you have to surrender with big metal stuff and solder those big metal stuff in order to make a hole, you empty the water once it's sealed, and you start pouring the concrete. So that was his job when he was young. But imagine at that era, the equipment was like, equipment.
Mark, look, we need
Mark
some wine.
is lonely there, and yeah.
So what do you think, Mark? It's good stuff, right? Yeah, this is really.
That's the sound we need to hear.
Boing.
I'm good.
So my dad was a diver, and so sure enough, he had some equipments, and one day he said, "Well, let's do it together." So he threw me on a boat with my shit, and I went down, and that's it. I liked it, but then, I was 7. But I was already a swimmer. I used to do competition. I did competition from 5 to 17, and then 30 to 37.
You were competing in your mid to late 30s?
Yeah, I went back swimming, and I was already in the French championships. Yeah, I did pretty well. Yeah,
that is pretty amazing.
You get some history there, huh?
Wow.
Yeah, but again,
your life is far more interesting. It really is, all the different stuff you've done.
There's a backlash of all that. You can imagine I used to train 2 or 3 times a day, so basically you don't really work. and so you depend on a lot of people that are nice enough. It's not like here you can get paid doing shit over there. No, it's a pleasure, and especially girlfriend, they don't really like the fact you don't do shit and they have to pay for everything.
Right.
So yeah, it was some backlash, that's for sure.
That's funny.
Especially when you drink expensive and you don't work, they kind of bitchy.
I was going to say, how do you maintain
weird
that
is that?
habit?
And they're not very sweet.
That's it.
I don't get it. Especially when you have a bunch of friends over. And anyway.
Yeah, sure. So you're an electrician now. When did you pick up electricity? When did you start?
I picked it up right here. I learned by accident.
Okay.
Yeah, I was scared shitless by electricity.
Shocking.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly the same.
I know. Sorry, Mike. I had to say it. It's terrible.
One glass. Imagine after 3 bottles.
Oh, forget it. I can't even imagine. I mean, this is great. I'm enjoying
Yes, me
just
too.
taking my time with it. And it's...
Well, plus I talk too much anyway.
No, but that's good.
That's
good.
not at all. We wanted to. One of the things that we try to do with this is we like the conversation, like it has in the past couple ones, to flow organically.
Yeah, sure.
Because then you end up finding so much more about you, and a lot of the stuff you say, we have no idea the kind of people out there that are going to find this kind of thing interesting. I will tell you right now that one of our most successful podcasts is our only wine podcast.
Gosh.
This one's probably going to
I think this one's going to exceed that one because it's been downloaded the most.
Yeah. And again, we still have 1,500 to go. 1,500 bottles to go. So
this is great. What are you doing next week? You want to come back?
Oh, sure.
We have to get them together with Steve Godreau. We have to.
So would you come back at some point?
I would definitely come back.
Okay.
Awesome.
So we have our other wine expert, Steve Godreau from Salem.
Oh, hang on a minute.
Salem.
Please don't ever call me an expert. It makes me cringe because there's no way today unless but let's see, because I hear that a lot. Yeah. But there's some people definitely that we can consider expert because that's what they do all day long since years. They test, they do all the enologies. For me, it's the ultimate. When you know the science of the chemistry of wine and you manage to understand everything about it by just looking at it. Well, now we're talking. My knowledge is mostly, I will say, lots of experience in testing, but not like in a scientific way, because I will explain something really basic to you that I don't even understand the whole concept, but I made a mistake for 40 years, meaning when I see people testing the wine and naming it like it tastes like grape, sure enough, it tastes like this. It tastes, it's not even obvious it tastes like grape, but there's a scent of this. You smell it first and you have all that. I used to laugh at that shit and I'm like, fuck it, just pour it and I drink it. And I enjoy it or not. But that was a big mistake because the way you do that, you put a name on the smell, different name, put a name on the taste. All that helps you to categorize in your head, and you put that in your head, it's stuck forever. You will have the knowledge of that wine, even for 30 years from now, you will remember exactly what...
Remember that exactly?
Yes, because that's a scientific way to, as a teacher, to have the knowledge. If you just drink it and enjoy it, you will remember the moment, but you will never remember the wine. You will remember, I had this, but you don't know exactly, you won't be able to explain what was that wine. You have to put some name on it in order to put it in the right place of your brain. It's a different area of your brain. One will be the pleasure you have, and the other one you stock. It's a storage place that will stay there forever. The only way to do that is to do that process, to smell, give name, to taste, give name. And then you remember, you will have that knowledge forever. And in like 30 years from now, I will take that wine. Oh, that's Maison 2014. You will remember it.
And you can remember that. Okay.
Myself, I can't, because I only started to do that the past 5 years.
Okay.
Before I used to freaking drink it. And so I remember great time, great wine, but I wouldn't be able to test the same today and say, that was it. That's the one.
Huh.
It's just...
see, that might be the best part of of drinking wine knowledge that anybody's shared with me. To say that, it means because I'll drink wine, I'll be like, that was really good,
I don't know what the hell I'm thinking.
And again, the only way you could remember, we should have done that to begin with, but it sounds, for me, it sounds so pompous, but it's not. It's really a necessity if you want to be serious about what you're doing and remember the stuff. That's the only way. Otherwise, tomorrow you won't remember it. You won't know that wine had some kind of a, let's say, whatever you figure, because you can give, there's tons of different, you can say prune, tobacco, and all that is important. All that is important. So what you do usually, you serve the wine in an ideal condition, good temperature and everything. You start moving your wine to make it braise a bit, giving it a smell, not too much. Another one, starting to put in your brain some flavor. And you keep doing that for a little while, and then you start tasting. And then it's what you have on your tongue and on your cheek and under your tongue, and then what you have in your throat. All that counts. All those little step counts, and you have to put a name on it. Oh, I taste that. It's long, it's short. Even the color before you do it. You go on the color and you go, that's this type of color, this type. I can tell you that wine already, it's nice to drink it now. Seeing the color for a Pinot, it's starting to get orangey, kind of.
Okay.
And that's the type of wine that it gets orange. It could turn to a decline.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Even right now?
No, this one obviously it's still solid. It's got a lot to it, but I wouldn't give it more than 2 more years. And it's my little knowledge, but 2 more years and it may really decline, lose a lot of interest.
How many bottles of this do you have?
I don't have much anymore. I would say 8, maybe.
8. So now, bless you. So now that you know that you're seeing it within in your head, you're going to try to keep it. Within 2 years, you're going to try to get
this
through it.
This wine is. Here's the other thing. What I do, because again, it's so vast. What you can buy today, the offers is insane on good wine, on even very good wine. So I'm trying not to. I have to focus on a different way of buying. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to buy people who own their own vineyard, which is not them.
Yeah.
For example.
Right.
It doesn't mean they're bad. It's just I had to pick a choice to reduce the panel of what I can buy, because otherwise it's insane.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get that people who own the grapes. They take care of their vineyard, they take care of their winery, they take care of the winemaking, everything. And I'm trying to focus also on people who take care of their ground, meaning trying to be organic or biodynamic, try to use as least possible chemicals, which is hard to do because...
You're researching. Are you going online and researching?
Well, I don't do... I don't go enough on the land. I kind of read what they do. Because, again, it's vast. It's massive.
Okay.
So, again, I buy wine from everywhere. I buy wine from South Africa, Chile, Hungary. I mean, it's everywhere. There's wine everywhere, to be honest with you. Now, I'm trying to get responsible about the impact I could have. I don't want to buy something stupid that will take... forever. I stopped buying wine from South Africa. Just the shipping was stupid. If you are, I have to make sense with myself. I'm trying to be biodynamic. If you put 12 bottles on a ship that will use, it's not to be green or perfect human being, but I'm just trying to put myself to the minimum possible winemakers I can buy, because otherwise it's endless. So I put boundaries.
Okay.
On a necessity, so I can pick, because otherwise it's too vast.
For flavor or things that are more interesting for you?
Well, first of all, it's just I have to limit myself to something, because otherwise you just go all over the freaking place. The great wine are available in any kind of way of doing it, like highly industrial or not. They manage to do good wine. And I'm trying not to do that. I still do it with most Bordeaux or Washington states, where they have consultants flying all over the world. Lots of French guys are doing that. They fly to winery to the other just to tell you what to do. You should do it this way, and then they sign that bottle or they put it a name, and it's done by Michel Roland. Or it's done by this guy.
Okay.
But it's just and it's amazing wine. Don't get me wrong; they're all great, but it's just for me just to focus on something I should buy because otherwise, again, you can buy millions of bottles every year, and you will never see the end of it.
Wow.
So no,
it's such a big. It's so huge, and
massive.
I've been so trapped in my beer and tequila and
but that's the same bullshit. Look, beer today. You want to try to
still big, very very.
Try
big.
to taste all the beer of USA today.
I'm trying. I really am.
So one quick question: everything that you sell, that you're involved with, that you buy, do you taste all of it?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Is it necessary for you to taste all of it?
No, I'm today because of all the information we have. I'm trying to find somebody who will bring me something new. That's one. I want to make sure is doing it the way I'm trying to make my boundaries. And again, it's not because it's better. It's just because I need some boundaries. I need to focus on something. And I'm trying to focus on also some indigenous grapes. I'm trying to do that because it's always a surprise when you used to a taste, like let's say a Bordeaux blend. Traditional Bordeaux blend will be, Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, Merlot, Petit Verdot. That's usually the 4 grape. You have some more, but that's usually it. Some of them are just Merlot. Some of them are Cabernet Sauvignon, but mostly that's what you have in Bordeaux. So I'm kind of used to that taste. I can recognize it. I'm okay with that, and I like it. But I love something that will go, whoa, what's that? Because that's what I need now.
Right.
And sometimes it's not like an amazing expensive wine, but it's just a surprise because it's a different grape. Like in Georgia, they have a specific grape that it grows there, which and they make interesting wine. It's interesting to me.
Really?
And I noticed
that Georgia the country or Georgia
the country.
Okay,
but
clarify.
I went to visit in Virginia. I went to visit the estate of the former president
Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson.
And sure enough, there's some wineries there, and one of them, which is I think I can't remember. Actually, they make great wine. I just can't remember the name of that winery. It will come back to me. But anyway, and they use the same. They have the same grape of the Georgia country, and
Was it similar?
No, it wasn't. But it's still interesting because the climate in Virginia, you can imagine. It's just so it's still different, but it's really interesting. I'm fascinated by all that. And there's a bunch of people doing wine up.
What is that?
It's a telephone, not mine though.
Not mine.
So, but it's lovely though. It sounds a bit fruity, but that's beside the point.
So one of the
I thought I wasn't supposed to be able to do that when it was in camera.
Oh, somebody was calling your phone?
Hang on a minute. I'm not technical, but basically your camera called you.
Yeah.
It is something else.
well, yeah,
It was lonely.
it was lonely.
Gosh.
So one of the things that we were hoping, because we have a little bit of traction in France, we were hoping that you would be able to do some kind of announcement in French telling your countrymen about what we do. Is that right?
I think it's a great. So I was thinking about doing a line or like a just tell. I was gonna record something after.
Oh, you were okay. I thought
we can do it now. Also,
no, I did. Okay, yeah, that's cool.
What would you tell people about BamBoozled.Boston? I don't know.
Well, first of all, in French, that's what you want.
Yeah, you could call us assholes. We won't even know.
That is nice, actually. But you know what? It's so expected. It's not even funny. Alors, pour les auditeurs français, laissez-moi vous parler de BamBoozled.Boston. So, donc, ce sont une bande d'amis qui sont à la base musiciens et qui ont eu cette idée, donc déjà par leur équipement, et de parler de de différents alcools, de l'art ou du plaisir de boire entre amis ou de découvrir des bonnes bouteilles, que ce soit d'alcool, de bière ou de vin. Et donc voilà, l'idée générale, c'est de parler de tout ça sans prétention et bon, c'est vachement agréable, quoi. Surtout, on est là dans une cave. Alors personne ne sait exactement où c'est. C'est quelque part en Nouvelle-Angleterre, près de Boston. Et voilà, donc c'est assez intéressant. Donc bienvenue à tous si vous écoutez. Et puis moi, je m'appelle Gerald. Je suis ici depuis 15 ans. Et puis voilà, une des personnes qui a cet endroit, on travaille ensemble. Et c'est agréable après le boulot de parler de choses un peu plus légères. Merci à tous. Merci à vous.
That was amazing, and I had no idea what you just said.
That was great.
Don't worry, because I don't really know. I just,
Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Listen, Gerald, thank you for coming in tonight.
Well, it's a
this was
pleasure.
fantastic.
Yeah.
You got to come back.
Tomorrow 6.
Tomorrow at 6? Yeah. Okay. Well,
we do the upstairs first, and then so 5:30.
Well, sometimes we do a pre-cocktail. Sometimes that gets us in trouble too.
Yeah, right.
But, did with them, yes.
But this is about getting off the wagon. God,
this is
right. Yeah, this is great. Oh,
what's that?
That's the outro.
That's the outro.
That's the outro music. Gerald, thank you very much.
You're welcome. That was a pleasure.
Very,
thank you,
very
guys.
nice. Very nice. G-Money,
Mike,
great
thank you.
stuff, right?
Yeah, man, fantastic. Please come back. You got to come.
Tomorrow
We had a
morning,
great
6.
time.
Tomorrow morning at 6.
All right, we're ready to go.
All right, thank you everybody for listening to BamBoozled.Boston. And that was our second wine episode. I can't wait to do another one.
Woo! Come on, son.
Yeah, buddy.
It's excellent. Thank you so much.